Stop. Look at him. Not just what he's doing, but who he's becoming. Because the first sign a man is cheating isn't a lipstick stain on his collar. It isn't a mysterious text at midnight. It isn't a sudden obsession with the gym or cologne or the way he dresses. Those are surface signs, small sparks that hint at something deeper. The real change is subtle, almost invisible. It's in the way he fragments, the way he vanishes, even when he's sitting right beside you. Even when he says he's fine, even when he laughs or kisses your hand, there's a distance you can feel, a hollow rhythm in his presence that wasn't there before. He splits. When a man cheats, he doesn't just betray you in action, he betrays himself. He becomes two versions of the same man. There's the version you see every day, the man who kisses you goodbye, who laughs at your jokes, who still goes through the motions of life you built together. He keeps the routines, he remembers the birthdays, he says the words you expect. And then there's the version that exists somewhere else, the one sending messages that never reach you, sharing thoughts, secrets, moments he keeps from your world, the one who smiles at someone else in ways he used to reserve for you, the one who constructs a life in parallel, a life that exists only in fragments, whispers, and unseen choices. Living in two realities is exhausting. It's not calm or composed. It drains him slowly, relentlessly. The more he invests in the hidden life, the less he has to offer in the one he promised to protect. He retreats, sometimes quietly, sometimes without notice. His attention drifts, his words lose their weight, his schedule feels unpredictable. Moments that used to flow naturally now feel rehearsed, measured. Even when he's physically present, something about him feels distant, hollow. The warmth that once radiated so easily now flickers in small, inconsistent bursts. It's not paranoia on your part. It's the absence of alignment, the invisible fracture between who he was, who he says he is, and who he's becoming. Cheating isn't just a physical act. It's a collapse of the shared reality you built together, a quiet fracture that spreads until everything feels different, until the world you knew subtly tilts off axis. And once that collapse begins, it's irreversible in small ways. He cannot show up the same way anymore. The gestures that once felt effortless now feel calculated. The glances that once felt warm now drift toward the unseen. The conversations that flowed naturally now stumble awkwardly, like words caught between truth and performance. He becomes a man divided, not in the casual sense of being two-faced, but in the deeper, more dangerous sense. Two lives, two loyalties, two versions of truth coexisting in one body. And if you pay attention, you notice it. Not in a single act of betrayal, but in the subtle disappearance of who he used to be. The laughter feels curated, the touch feels measured, the presence feels borrowed. It is the quiet unraveling of a man who once belonged fully to you, now split between worlds you cannot inhabit. And the most chilling truth? This isn't just about what he hides. It's about who he's becoming, and how that transformation will shadow everything he touches.
Overcompensation and irritation. Then something curious happens. He starts saying, "I love you" more often. Random gifts appear out of nowhere, unexpected gestures, small acts of attention that feel exaggerated. Affection becomes performance, and you notice it immediately. Not because it feels wrong. At first, it feels sweet. It feels like care, like he's suddenly present in ways he wasn't before. But it's not love driving it. It's fear. Fear of being caught. Fear of losing the stability he once had. Fear of facing the man he's becoming. And the strangest part? At the same time, he grows impatient, critical, irritable, hypersensitive. Little things that never bothered him before suddenly ignite conflict. You drop a fork on the floor, and it's a test. You ask a question about his day, and it's interrogation. Your presence, your very attention, reminds him of who he used to be, of the man he promised to be. And he cannot look at that reflection. So he projects. He pushes blame outward. He rewrites the story of your relationship to fit his comfort. We've grown apart. You never understood me. We've been distant for a while. Notice the language. Passive, blameless. as if the erosion of intimacy was a force of nature, as if you didn't matter in the collapse. But here's the truth. He didn't drift away by accident. He didn't grow distant naturally. He chose to. Every withdrawal, every lapse of attention, every unexplained absence, it was a decision, a quiet, repeated choice to step into someone else's world. And this is where the danger lies, because while he's overcompensating, giving more words, more gifts, more affection, he's also building walls. Walls of projection, walls of rationalization, walls of deflection. Your heart is pulled in two directions. The sweet gestures make you hope. The irritability makes you doubt. And all the while, the man you knew is slowly disappearing, replaced by someone else, someone performing love, hiding guilt, projecting blame, and rewriting history. And if you don't recognize it, the pattern repeats. Because this is how a cheating man survives. Not through honesty, not through courage, but through overcompensation and subtle manipulation. The fortress and mind games. Watch the phone. It's no longer just a device. It's a fortress. Once it might have sat casually on the table, unlocked, waiting for messages, harmless. Now, always in his pocket, always within reach, always guarded. Sometimes it feels like it's become an extension of him, closer than he is to you, more present in his attention than anything else in the room. Even the way he holds it, the way his thumb hovers over the screen, the way he flinches when a notification arrives, these are small but telling. They speak volumes about what's hidden beneath the surface. Ask a casual question about it, you're paranoid. You don't trust me. And just like that, the focus shifts. It's no longer about secrecy. It's about your perception, your intuition, your doubts. He has mastered the art of turning suspicion back onto you, reframing your awareness as insecurity. This is not a mistake. This is manipulation disguised as confusion. Projection, deflection, emotional warfare in its quietest, most insidious form. He may begin to accuse you of the very things he's doing himself. Flirting, hiding things, being distant. Even the simplest questions from you suddenly feel like interrogations. Who were you with? What were you doing? Even innocent inquiries now feel accusatory. And why? Because his own conscience is screaming beneath the surface. Every lie, every secret, every half-truth consumes him, and he needs an outlet. So he shifts the burden onto you. Suddenly, you are the problem. You are the doubter. You are the one causing friction. And he becomes the victim in a story where he alone is free of blame. And yet, when he smiles, laughs, or shows affection, something is off. It doesn't land naturally. It's uneven, fractured. The duplicity destabilizes his emotional system. The energy is scattered. Nothing feels congruent. Every gesture carries the weight of secrecy. Every word is measured. Every laugh was calculated. Even moments of joy are tainted because they cannot exist without the shadow of the other life he's living. Every hug, every tender glance, every whispered "I love you" is now part performance, part defense. And here's the ironic twist. If he is caught, sometimes what you see is not shame, not guilt. Sometimes it's a relief. Relief that the constant vigilance has been lifted, even if for briefly. Carrying two realities at once is exhausting beyond imagination. Balancing lies with truth, managing the performance of love while maintaining a hidden world, it drains him physically, mentally, spiritually. He may even seem lighter, almost liberated when confronted. But it's not because he's remorseful. It's because the burden of secrecy, the mental accounting, the constant fear of exposure has been momentarily removed. The phone is never just a phone. It's a symbol of everything fractured inside him. Every hidden message, every notification he fears, every secret call. It is a reminder of the split life he's trying to maintain. And when you see that fortress, that guarded energy, that sudden defensiveness, understand this. It's not about technology. It's about control, fear, guilt. He's fighting to protect the illusion of the life he once knew. Meanwhile, the reality of who he has become leaks through every glance, every word, every pause, every twitch of the eye, every calculated gesture, reveals a man at war with himself, desperately trying to survive a world of his own making, restlessness and loss of presence. The deepest sign? He cannot sit still. Silence becomes dangerous. Stillness exposes him. It forces the truth to surface, the truth he has been running from, hiding from, denying. So he fills the space with screens, with constant noise, with movement, always busy, always distracted, always seeking something, anything to avoid the man he has become. He may call it finding himself, a new hobby, a weekend trip, a sudden obsession with work. But it's not discovery he seeks, it's escape. Escape from the guilt, escape from the fracture, escape from the version of himself he cannot face. And here's the damning truth. Cheating is never a single act. It's a process. It begins long before the first kiss outside the relationship, long before the secret messages, long before the physical betrayal. It begins with small permissions, a harmless lie here, a secret kept there, boundaries crossed in imagination. The tiny betrayals accumulate silently, like termites gnawing at the structure of his moral life. By the time the affair becomes real, the foundation has already crumbled. What you see in the aftermath, the anger, the lies, the distance, is merely the visible shadow of a collapse that has been happening for months, sometimes years. The aftermath. A cheating man doesn't just betray his partner, he betrays his own future. The promises he made, not just to her, but to himself. The integrity he once carried, the life he could have built on honesty. Every lie, every evasion, every half-truth chips away at the man he could have been. You may feel hurt, confused, angry, and that is natural. Those emotions are evidence that you are still grounded in reality, still connected to your own sense of worth. But here's what you must remember. You can forgive, you can have compassion, you can understand the why behind his actions, but you do not have to stay. His choices are a reflection of his misalignment, not a reflection of your value. Healing is not about fixing him. Healing is about reclaiming yourself, your clarity, your intuition, your boundaries, your ability to trust again, your ability to feel safe in love again. The real damage of betrayal is rarely in the act itself. It is in how it makes you question yourself, your judgment, your value, your capacity to believe in something genuine. Do not surrender that, not for him, not for anyone. Because a man who cheats may return. He may apologize. He may promise change. He may make words sound like vows, rich with regret. But unless he is willing to face himself, unless he is willing to burn the false identity he created to justify his betrayal, the pattern repeats, and your peace is non-negotiable. Stand firm in your reality. Protect your boundaries. Trust your intuition. Love yourself enough to step away from what diminishes you. Because no amount of charm, explanation, or regret can repair a fractured alignment that he refuses to confront. Your clarity is your power. Your intuition is your compass. Your peace is sacred. Do not allow his avoidance to become your burden. Do not allow his inability to reconcile with his actions dictate how you feel about yourself. You are not responsible for his failure to be honest. You are not required to stay for the sake of someone else's redemption. Every betrayal leaves evidence, not only in actions, but in essence. You can see it in the absence of presence, the hesitation.
His gaze, the way words feel hollow where they once rang true. Every fragment of avoidance, every act of overcompensation, every burst of misplaced anger or unearned affection, these are all signals. They are the echoes of a man who has lost alignment with himself. And the truth is, No apology, no plea, no promise can restore what he has fractured internally if he refuses to confront it. So reclaim your power, reclaim your center. You do not have to forgive to forget, nor to remain. You do not have to absorb the chaos of someone else's moral collapse. You do not have to shrink to accommodate his avoidance. Your life, your clarity, your boundaries, and your peace, these are yours to protect. And when you do, you create space, not for him, but for yourself. Space to rebuild, to heal, to feel secure in love again. To trust your own judgment, to trust your own voice, to remember what it feels like to be fully seen, fully respected, and fully safe. Because the man who cheats may leave a shadow, but he cannot take your light unless you allow it. And your light, your clarity, your peace, they are sacred.